Hello Flosstube, welcome back to Flosstube episode number 10. It is February the 14th and of course it's Valentine's Day, so I've dressed in pink especially for Valentine's. I don't have any red. I don't know why I don't have red clothes, but I've got my pink sweatshirt on and I've got my amazing necklace from Debbie at Snug Harbour Crafts. She has a floss tube with her daughter and gifted me this when I went to the retreat at the attic recently, and I thought, well, it's a crazy thing, and if there's a day you can wear it, it's Valentine's Day. It's been a really good month and I've got so much done since I saw you last that I thought I'm going to have to get on and do a floss tube, because I think the last time it was the 9th of Jan, so it's actually well over a month, and haven't been away, so I've got so much to share and show you. The table's covered with stuff, but before we get started, some really great news to share. First, I've reached the amazing milestone of 10,000 subscribers to my Flosstube channel. So from the bottom of my heart, I want to say a huge thank you for your incredible support and encouragement over the last, it's got to be 9 months. I think it was April or May when I did my first floss tube, so it's not even a year. It blows my mind that so many of you are watching me, but I do feel like you're all my friends and we're all in this crazy crafty thing together. So thank you everyone that watches, and thanks for all your amazing comments and for all your kind words, because sometimes I just almost get stage fright to come back, but the show must go on, mustn't it? The other great news is that my oldest daughter Harriet, I've spoken to you about Harriet, haven't I? She's the doctor in London. She's working at UCLH, which is the University College London Hospital, and she's what I call an SHO, like a senior house officer. She's basically the backbone of the NHS, running the clinics, you know, under the supervision of the consultants, but, you know, keeping that hospital ticking over. And her and her colleagues work so hard. I'm just so proud of her. And she's just got engaged to Cam, who I've known since I was about 50. I think that's when they first started dating. So they haven't rushed into this. They've taken their time, and I couldn't be more delighted for them. Cam is the year ahead of Harriet. He also trained at Cardiff University with her, and he's a medic too, but he is a psychiatrist, and he just was called into that from, you know, when he was first a student. He always was fascinated with psychiatry, to the point where right now he takes a day or two, I think it's most weeks, and goes from London over to Cambridge University, looking at the DNA profile, like the genome science behind mental illness. So it's fascinating, because it's a very difficult illness. You know, mental illness and psychiatry is just so complex. It's slightly genetic, it's slightly environmental, it's a very sort of messy disease to treat, and looking into the genes and the DNA to see how you can treat those illnesses that way is just, you know, right on the forefront of research. And I'm really hopeful that, you know, lots of cures will be found for really difficult mental illness. But yeah, I digress. I couldn't be more excited. So I'm literally in my Mother of the Bride era, and in a couple of weeks Harriet's going to come home and we're going to start to look for like wedding venues and things. They want to get married in Wales. They're both Welsh. Cam's really Welsh. He is a Pontypool boy and lived in Monmouth and went to uni college there and school there before he came down to Cardiff. His family are Welsh, and I can't wait to spend more time meeting them, and we'll be going up to London in a couple of weeks for their engagement too. So couldn't be happier and more delighted and more proud. So without further ado, I will move on now into my stitching. I'll show you my book of days, because I've had a really busy month in January. So I filmed my Flosstube, didn't I? Flosstube number 9, just before my birthday, when I went away to that amazing hotel down in Somerset called the Newt. Thoroughly recommend that place. What a treat that was. And then I hit my 10k subscribers down here on the 29th. Then of course I've got a highlighted thing here for our dear friend Jean Lee from the attic. You know, very, very sadly passed away there at the end of January. But for me, it was bittersweet because that's the day that Cam proposed to Harriet in Paris. They were literally walking up and down the side of the Seine with blue skies and sunshine. I mean, it's still bitterly cold in Paris, but what a fabulous place. They went for the rugby. Wales are doing really, really bad at the moment in the rugby, but nonetheless, the games are still great, good fun. So they went over to Paris to see the match that night. And yeah, it's the most romantic city, isn't it, in Europe? Yeah, and then my February's looking like this so far. So I've been really busy. I've got some fabulous stickers in here. I've got this one from Barry's bags that I have bought over the last few months. I've got a wool. I've got some knitting to share with you today. I've got the, what do you call it, the label off my wool that I used. So that's from Paris as well. La Bien Aimée. What's that? My New Love. Anyway, hand-dyed wool from Paris. That I'll show you something that I finished. What else have we got? We've got old red paint, which I'll be showing the project that I finished the skein of that on. This is from Minnie McBean's, one of my floss drop that I picked up at the attic. That I stuck the label in there, and I've put this on a project bag. I'll show you. I had, I think that's it, isn't it? A couple of packs of Bowen needles. And I've also put the linen from this, Mason Linens, in one of my projects that I'm keen to start in the next month. So that's coming up in plans. Oh, and this reminds me, every time I can't stitch, so there's a day here, Wednesday this week on the 12th, I went to Tenby, which is in West Wales, over in Pembrokeshire, near the area where my mum grew up and where my family had a farm near Narberth. I went to Tenby to one of the nursing homes there. My uncle Eddie is in the nursing home. He's 98. He's sharp as a razor and is wonderful, but he struggles to walk now, so he needs to have constant care in a nursing home, but he loves to have visitors and talks all day. And when I walked through this time, one of the nurses called behind me at the corridor as we were walking towards his room, because I went with my brother, Simon, and my dad. And we make a trip of it, you know, and have a lovely pub lunch on the way down. And I stopped and saw my Auntie Joy and Uncle Vaughan. So that was lovely. Haven't seen them since before lockdown. And one of the nursing staff called up the corridor and said, "Hey, aren't you on Flosstube?" And so I couldn't believe that. So I shouted, I want to say a shout out to Pamela and all the care workers out there that are working in nursing homes or in the NHS or in any hospital. You know, thanks for all that you do. And it is a hard job. I asked her if she's cross stitches, and she does. And I asked her if she enjoyed working in the home, and she said it's really, really hard work. So I'm sure it is. And here's to all the care workers that keep things ticking over. So here's my book of days. I can chuck that down there now. So I've got three fully finished things to share with you this time. The first one is this one by Brenda Gervais. It's called Key to My Heart, and it's by With Our Needle and Thread. It's a deceiving stitch. It took me a long time to stitch this. I used all the called for threads, and this is on the called for fabric, which is R&R creme brulee that I managed to buy at Peakside a while ago for one of my patriotic finishes in the summer, those 3 pillows that Brenda did. It was a new release, and as soon as it came out, I finished that. Was it Flag Folk or something like that? Anyway, I can't remember, but this is stunning. The blues in there. There were quite a few blues, a couple of gentle arts, and I think the weeks was Capri. And then I finished it with this fabulous French general that I got from the Stitchery Sisters to line the sewing roll that I bought from Sarah back in the summer, and finished it with this gorgeous Lady Dot Creates velvet chenille, and that's called Sizzle, I think, which is I've had in my stash for a long time and never needed it for something as bright red as this, but it works perfectly for this Valentine finish. And I just finished it with, you know, I've told you before, I buy these little felt pom-poms, and if you stick a coloured needle or any old needle in there, you can just make a little cute sort of thing instead of always having a rusty old pin. So that's such a pretty stitch. A lot of back stitch and fussing around there. And these letters are huge. It took me more than a night to do these large letters in front of the TV. So I really am thrilled with that. I think it looks super professional, the back, the trim, the backing fabric. I just love it. I think it looks really good, and I just did it, you know, so you've got the little gap on the bottom to whip stitch closed, and yeah, finished that. And I filled this with split peas, is that what you call them? Dried split peas, to give it a bit of heft, because do you remember the other one that's got Liberty written along and it's got Uncle Sam, one of the patriotic summer ones by Brenda? I finished that with the same chickpea finish, and it just gives it a lovely, it's not quite as heavy as the walnut shells. So that's the first fully finished for this month, and I couldn't be happier with that. The second one, I showed you my finish on it last time for the stitching. This is by the Scarlet House. This is Jingle All the Way. I've always loved this, and it's been sitting, and I noticed that Vonna Pfeiffer did the finishing for this. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a bell quite as gorgeous as that to finish it with, but I did manage to get a really old rusty bell off Etsy or Amazon, I can't remember, but I just Googled large rusty bells, and I just finished it with a little bronze pin and some twine. And this is Jingle All the Way. This is on 40 count Picture This plus Swamp, and the called for was Swamp, but it doesn't say Picture This plus. It says it's a linen from Colorscapes 36 count, but I did it on 40, and I finished it like Stacey Nash finished the Cowslip Studio Cherry, forgotten the name of the needle roll now. Was it Strawberry Farm or something? The one that I finished in May. I showed it on my last video, actually, where I showed all my finishes. But I finished it the same way that Stacey recommends, couching down those sort of seam rib. What do you call this ribbon? It's this ones you finish seams with anyway, and you can buy them really cheap at Crafty Ribbons in every colour under the sun, literally for a pound a metre. So I've got plenty of this, and this worked perfectly with the KN, and I just think that's going to be fabulous. I'm tempted to hang it so that it can go in the hall above my mirror for Christmas, like I do for my word plays, which I'll show you at the end. So that was my and then my third and probably my favourite. This is Heart and Hand Needle Keep that I've had in my stash for years by Brenda Gervais. This is one I got a long time ago. It was only £7. I think I bought this at Patchwork Rabbit. Yeah, I want to say I picked it up there, and I've had it for years. So that's before lockdown. I've been sitting on that, and this is the finish. It called for 32 count Weeks beige, Weeks Dye Works beige linen. I used 36 count because that's what I had in my stash. So you cut, I think, a 5-inch piece. You cut 4 pieces, a piece for the front, heart in hand there. Oh, there's loads of colours of threads in here, but luckily I had them all in my stash. there's about 3 peaches. Weeks Dye Works peach is the gorgeous colour at the bottom. There's about 3 different Gentle Arts pinks and reds. One of them is Wood Rose, which is gorgeous, and we used for Brenda's Winter Rose Manor. Remember the Wood Rose for that? And then there's the second piece you use for the little urn on the back, which literally took 10 minutes. And then you use Gentle Arts, is it parchment? And you wax the thread. So you run it through the waxer so they stay together to kind of tie up in the twine. And then she said for the other 2 pieces, you wrap it around freezer paper. So the outside pieces are wrapped around card. And then you just finish the front with this beaded trim. I think she stuck glass pins in. I didn't have glass-headed pins, but I've got a load of beads. This is my latest craze, is to have I've been working on building up my bead stash. So I had these gorgeous, large, pearly, peachy pearl colour to stitch around the edge. I didn't measure them, I just stuck them in. And then she does say to use either red felt or red velvet. Well, I had this gorgeous, perfect match actually for the thread on the front from Cloudscraft, where I bought the little felt bubbles, you know, for my, to stick on the pin here. Those felt bubbles is the same place that I buy the wool felt to either use in needlebooks, or you can put them on the top of strawberries or, you know, strawberries or tomatoes, that type of thing, whatever you're making. So this is brilliant. And I actually cut out the template that Brenda gives you in the chart. So she includes all the templates in here. And I just bonder webbed that on. You know, the Vlisaline, you just iron it on. It's incredibly useful stuff. And that just worked perfectly. And then you just pull the thread through, pull it into the seam so that the knot gets hidden, and then just tie it together. I tell you what, it's one of my very favourite things I've made in a while. I just love making little things. It took a day to do the front, half an hour to do the back, and then the rest of the day just to make it up. And I think it's adorable. It's just one of those things like making an animal cracker once you've got them. And it reminded me a little bit of making up the little radish needle book that Stacey does for, and I must do the teapot for Clovis. Isn't it gorgeous? Just love it. So it's just something to treasure and have round with all the little bits. So those are my 3 fully finished objects since I saw you last. And then I'm going to move on to my whips. So this is what I've been working on. The first one, as always, in my gorgeous Barry Hamby Stitch Folk bag is my Charlotte Warrington 1838 Lottie. And I haven't touched Lottie since I had my photo with Vicky Jeanette from Needlework Press when I went to her house. So I had to iron it today, and I can't wait now to start working back. This was an exclusive by the Homespun Needlework group on Facebook. And we got this chart and the whole kit from Colorado Cross Stitcher. That's who was providing the kits for this exclusive one, I think in May last year. And of course in the UK it came quite a few months later. So yeah, Sherry at Colorado Cross Stitcher provided that. And I'm using the lovely bright Weeks Dye Works threads on the Flosstube that came with it. And the colours are just glorious. And the linen, I just love. This is on 40 count Weeks Dye Works straw. And I think it's the only project I've got on straw at the moment. I've got one finished that I've actually never showed you. It's faded quite badly. I'm thinking of walnut crystalling it to grunge it up a bit darker because it's gone like luminescent yellow, my other finish. I'll show you maybe next time that one. So I've made quite a lot of progress only on the house this time. So this is what it's looking like, isn't it fab? There's a lot of work. I know it doesn't look it, guys, but there is a huge amount of stitching in this. So last time I showed you, I think I got the 2 doors in that I thought were tombstones. They're not, they're doors of the house. I've taken the bricks over a little bit. I had 1 window in last time, so this time I've done these 2 windows. I've taken the roof right up, put the dormer windows in the roof, in the attic windows up there, and come over and started on this one. So I'm just slowly bringing the house across. Can't wait to get back to her. So I'll carry on the house now and see how much of that I can get done in the month of February. I'm actually going away now. I've got a break. We always go away for Phil's birthday, middle of March. So we'll be going back to Galley Bay for some sunshine. It's pouring with rain here, freezing cold. To be fair, it's been quite nice and felt a bit spring-like here in Wales for the last week or 2. It's been really like optimistic and nice, but it's really cold and mizzy today. So yeah, I'm looking forward to some sunshine. I do look pasty at the moment. And so I don't know how much stitching I'm going to get done. For the 2 weeks I'm away, I won't be taking this. It's just way too big. I need smaller projects that I can, you know, just pick up now and again when I get the odd half an hour. So there she is. It's absolutely glorious. Love everything about it. Love the threads. You know, don't regret that I didn't get the silk at all. Love the wig straw. I know the first edition of this, I think I got the second release. The first one was on hog bristle, and I guess they're very similar, aren't they? Just love it. So that is Charlotte Warrington, Little Lottie, 1838. And then the second one that I try to do every month is my Hands Across the Sea, Jane Bannister, 1855, in my Laurie Holt's lovely panel that I bought of her Prairie collection. So this is lined with some of my white back, left from my Happy Place. And this is what the chart looks like. So this is my lovely Welsh girl. I think I'm always going to have one of the Hands Across the Sea Welsh projects on the go, because there are 3, aren't they, that are really famous, and this is one of them. I think it's really, really pretty. Jane Bannister, 1855. She's a Welsh sampler from the island of Anglesey. And I'm doing mine. I couldn't get the call for, what was it? Oh, it just says they used a linen to match the DMC thread with a number, but I'm using 37 count, an unknown linen from Tabby Cat that I picked up at the Great British Sampler Weekend when they had a table of loads and loads of Tabby Cat linen. So this is what I've got, my little thread drop, and I'm using the Verissoir silks, which are gorgeous, but as I've said many times, quite puffy. The colours are gorgeous, but I wouldn't like to be doing this on a well, you couldn't do it on 46, I don't think. You could on 40, but it's really comfortable on a 37. It's just lovely. And the pinks in here and the tealy blues are just gorgeous. So let me show you. I've worked a lot on this. I've got such good progress. Do you know, I've just realised I've forgotten my board. How am I going to do this now? That's a bit of a fail, isn't it? So I've gone right along the bottom, more or less to the corner. And I've gone, I don't think it matters actually, because the sun isn't coming in through the window. So I've gone right up to the top there. So I'm pretty much almost in the corner. Can you see how much I've done? I've worked quite a lot on it. So I put a photo of where I was last time in, so you can roughly see where I was. But I think this time I've come all the way from the top of that white flower up to the corner. I think I did this large one and this rose and the same on the bottom. So I don't know what to do now, whether to keep going with the border. I'm enjoying it so much. I would quite happily carry on. And, you know, she's a big girl, so that is a lot of border. And look at the linen. I mean, the colour of it is just gorgeous. I love this project so much. Couldn't be more different, could it, to Lottie, the colouring? It's just so different, so much fun. And the Verissoirs are gorgeous. So that is Jane Bannister. And I tried to do a bit, and to be fair, this month I did as much on Jane as I did on Lottie. Then the other one that I started, I think I did this on the 1st of January. I've been dying to do this, and see my little project bag for this is a gorgeous Stitch Folk bag. Isn't that stunning? And I've put my little Nancy 5 times blessed strawberry, felt strawberry that I bought at the retreat at Sampler Symposium, wasn't it, in January? And so this one is Manny Di Donna Eunice Tancarel, and this project is absolutely gorgeous, inspired by Reese that I used to follow on Flosstube. Well, I do follow her, but she hasn't done one for a while. But she was working on this, and when I saw the rosebuds, I just love roses. So she inspired me to start this. And I think, I haven't seen whether my friends have started this as well, because I thought we were in a stitch along, but I haven't seen whether Craft and Kirsty has. But I am behind, so I need to check my floss tubes. I'm just using the DMC for this. There's lots and lots of colours, and they're absolutely glorious. The pinks in here are amazing. This is on 40 count Weeks Cocoa, which is just the most beautiful linen. It's probably a halfway house, isn't it, between the Tabby Cat Grey and the straw. It's like a sort of just perfect cocoa brown. That's what it is. Cup of hot chocolate. It's beautiful muted pinks and greens. It's just my favourite colourway. It's really delicate. Isn't it beautiful? So, I mean, I wish I had more time to just stay with it, but I really started working up the side. I think I finished more or less 2 pages of the border now, but of course I haven't started any of the filling in here, so I'm nowhere near 2 pages complete. There's a lot of stitching in this, and there are lots and lots of motifs to do, but it's the most fun project. I really recommend it, and I can't wait to get back to it. Then the next one that I worked on, this is the one that I took with me to Sampler Symposium. So when we were sitting listening to, in the lectures, you know, I could get some stitching in on this because it's quite a small size, so it's dead handy to fit in your bag. And it was January in the middle of winter, so I made some really good progress on Plum Street Winter Moon. I love this so much. I just love Paulette's houses. I told you last time I've got up there, I forgot what it's called. Paulette, I shall be miserable if I have not an excellent library. Not A Gentleman's Daughter, the other one. But that's a stunning white house. This is a beautiful pink house. So let me show you what threads have we got here. Oh, this is one of my lovely little thread beds that I make out of a charm pack. So easy to do. You don't need to bind them. You can just sew around the edge of the charm pack with a little bit of lining and a lovely fleecy inside, and you just cut it then with your what's the name for those crinkle scissors, you know, the shearing scissors. I've forgotten what you call them. And then just put a popper on there and fold them in half, and it's the perfect size to have in every bag. That's what I made. I made a whole bunch of those to take to the retreat to use as table gifts. And here are the threads. Look at the colours. Just perfect pinks, aren't they? That's Cherub by Weeks. Love that. It's really variegated as well. Peaches and creams. And these two, cinnamon toast, always a favourite. I must have 10 skeins of that. And then rose petal, which is this one. Stunning pinks. But what I didn't realise, and then sweet potato, what I didn't realise is that each of the bricks, excuse me, is quite a bright pink. So those pinks I've just shown you is what's actually, I've just put in the first couple. Here we go. So I've just started on the chimney, and I'm telling you, sweet potato, it's really bright, but isn't it gorgeous? So I've made quite a lot of progress here. When I saw you last, I think I had the windows in, maybe not filled, didn't have much under the black line here, and I didn't have any of the roof done. So I filled in all that roof when we were listening to Kathleen and Nicola, and yeah, it's just lovely. And putting these massive chimneys in now. So I've done a lot of the counting, so now I can do a bit of filling. But to be fair, you can't really do much of this in front of a film on the TV, which is what I was doing. I was watching the Jackal when I was doing the roof, and listening to things at the attic. So this is gorgeous. This is on 40 count Fox and Rabbit Saltbush, which I love. And this is quite a dark version. I've got others which are not quite as dark as that. So that's lovely. I don't know whether I'm going to get back to that now, or whether I'm moving on to feeling more spring. Then, do you remember last time I told you when we were at the attic, one of the presenters was Jeanette Douglas, and she gave us this incredible chart that I was really excited about. She gave us the bobbin reel to mount this on, and the ribbon, and this is Specialty Stitches a la 1838 by LH. So you can either do this in silks, or you can do it in wool, which is, I think, how the original project was done. And Vicky Jeanette owned the chart for this and gave it to Jeanette because she's the queen of Specialty Stitches, to do something with. So this is what she designed. It took her 2 years to finally get this into the book. It's incredible. I'll just show you. So this is where the block 1 and 2 are. And so this is how it is. And I made a start on it. I was dying to start it. These are the beautiful silks that she gave us on the floss card, and also a whole pack of full skein MPI silks for some of the colours. We got the full skeins, and it's on this huge piece, long piece of 36 count swigart flax, and yeah, natural flax linen, which I've used before. And these are the first 2 blocks that I've completed. So such a lot of fun. Quite hard to get going on the first, to measure it properly, 3 inches down, 3 inches in, and to be sure that you're doing these over single, those satin stitches in between the Smyrna crosses at the corners are over 1/1. You're going into every hole. Not every other like you normally would on linen. So it's sort of 1/1, except it's 1/4, isn't it, to make the long stripe. So you need to get your border right first before you try to fill in. So there was I was a bit cautious to start, but once I got going, it was so much fun to do Specialty Stitches. So it's really quite easy and quick to do once you get going. So, but I made a mistake. So what I did, let me try and show you. Yeah, so here we go. This is block 1 and this is block 2, but I put them side by side. Do you see what I did? So to me, logically, 1 and 2 were going across, and then it'll be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, it wasn't. It was a block of 4, and I should have done 2 underneath 1. So then I had a complete panic and thought, oh, what if these aren't the same width? But they are. so it doesn't matter. So I put this one up there. I'll just have to move that one around so that that 4 looks okay, and then correct myself going forward. So yeah, I should have looked at the photo. I just got a bit overexcited. So this is really, there are 48 blocks, so obviously it's going to take forever, ever. But I figured if I just do 1 or 2, you know, it would be great if I could do 1 a week. But if I could do 2 a month, that would be fantastic, wouldn't it? I just think it's just fun. It's a bit like, I don't know, it's like these. It's just nice to have something on a bobbin on your desk as you're working on your massive samplers that are going to take 10 years each. It's just lovely to have these little things around you to keep you going. Like I always keep my Maggie May here and Clovis and Bobbin on the spool. They just sit on the desk with me every day. It's just nice to have beautiful things, isn't it, that you've stitched around you. So I thought that was super exciting, but this is, you know, look, it's a massive project, and these squares are going to come together. As Narissa would say, it's 1 stitch at a time, and for this it's going to be 1 square at a time. But I love specialty stitches. There's nothing to be scared of, by the way, with those. They're just, let me put this back now. They're just amazing. And I put this in my gorgeous project bag from Rika, the portfolio that she made me and gifted to me when we met up at Sampler Symposium. Isn't that stunning? So all of that and the threads and the book, everything is going to be sitting in there. And every time I bring this out, I think of Rika. Actually, talking of Rika, she's got a beautiful design which sold out. She sent me a copy of her Love Always, which her husband always writes to her in their birthday and Valentine's cards and things. He always writes Love Always, and it's so sweet. So it inspired her to do a Love Always cushion, which is as beautiful as this. And I'm definitely going to be stitching that for Valentine. So thank you for that, Rika. It's on my phone, so I can't show you the chart, but you know the one I mean. It's beautiful and it's in her store. So please go and have a look. House of Stitch and Stash. It's just lovely for Valentine's. Okay, how are we doing? 37 minutes. Gosh, I've got too much to share. Then the next one, the next project in my gorgeous Stitch Folk bag is on 46 count. No, it's not. It's on, this is on 46 count Needle and Flax Thornfield. This is a project, I had a new start following my trip to the attic. Remember when I fell in love with this chart, and my lovely friend Sandy that drove us to Needlework Press that day, she's Whispered Stitches on Instagram. She'd started this, and when I saw her start, I just had to go back to the shop and get this chart. This is by Cozy Egg, and I'm stitching it on 46 count Needle and Flax Thornfield with my little Hands Across the Sea bag with with my choice of a Verissoir 103 silks, because these are really thin and therefore nice to work with on 46. So this colorway was number 305. It's quite a rusty pinky red, which I just thought looked so much like what Sandy had started hers on, and it was so beautiful. She really inspired me to use a similar type of red. So here's my weenie. Look at the linen. Isn't that gorgeous? Needle and Flax. I've serged the edges. I bought a huge piece of this. I think Jean used to call this a stitcher's half. So I'm not sure how much that is, whether it is a half yard, but I made a little start in the middle of this. Jane Ann and her peg or bed number 461. And yeah, a really small start, but what I would love to do is put a thread a day into this. I started in the middle because the border wasn't straight. The border was wider in some areas, not on the corners, if that made sense. So I thought rather than risk running out of room on the sides, I would start in the middle. I think that's what the chart suggested. So that's what I did. Absolutely love this colour and the fabric. It's stunning. And it is sort of like a thorny field, I guess. So that's that. Very beautiful. And that silk is really great to use on 46 count. Then I had another new start. You'll remember I was going to start the Bells on Christmas Day, the one I've always loved. This is in my gorgeous AccuFactum project bag with a matching thread bed. And this is the design by Blackbird Designs, and it's in this book. I've always wanted to start it. And my lovely friend Linda on Instagram, I think she's HMB Fog on Instagram. You know Linda and Megan, the sisters that are always at the attic retreats. And I met them in Autumn of Abundance. Oh, there's the little thimble bag that I've made. I've shown you that before. It's gorgeous. And so we started this together. We got a little stitch along on the 25th of the month. So please join in. I started it on January the 25th and I only worked on it that one day. So I need to get back to it now. So this is what it looks like. It's the last chart in the book. And it's going to be the most perfect size, like Christmas Rose, the other Blackbird one that I've got done for Christmas. These are the gorgeous colours, typical Blackbird, very muted reds and pinks, and the same colours as the thimble bag. So that's red pear, beautiful. And this is my very small start. The linen for this is 40 count. Picture this plus oaken, so it's all called for. The linen and the threads are as Barb and Alma designed. Beautiful, isn't it? So I left this literally mid-stitch. I didn't even finish the little bird on the end, look. I think that's red pear. So I'm starting with the 3 little urns in the middle, and can't wait to move over. The red house will be here. But it's not that big, look. Isn't it going to be gorgeous? Don't know whether I'll finish it for Christmas this year, but it's beautiful. Love the linen and just love the threads for that. Then I had part of my Whipco, when the numbers are called, I've forgotten the numbers now that it was for January, but at the same time Whipco calls my projects on the go, my whips, I also have the option for two new starts that I've got the numbers for those as well. And the one for January that was called was something I've had kitted up in its own bag for about 3 years. It's the Sampler Roll by Samplers Remembered. I always get them muddled up, Samplers Not Forgotten. This is stunning, based on the sampler underneath that she made into a project roll. And I've got this in the project bag because it's on the same linen, which is 40 count, Weeks Dye Works Confederate Grey. It's on the same linen as another sampler that I've kitted up at the same time, which was Jane Tyndall. So I need to get to that. But anyway, I don't know why I've got so many things kitted that I never get to start with my little thread bed to match. And so I started the sampler roll. Gorgeous, gorgeous colours. Which was the one that made me, oh yeah, this one. I've nearly finished Cattail, and you know, the last time I used Weeks Dye Works Cattail, it's a delicate pinky colour. It just reminded me of when I did the Blackbird design drum of the Lady of Liberty, the girl on the top of the drum with the amazing American flag around the side. That's what I use most of the cattail for. So I've nearly run out of that, got my second cattail ready to go. But the cottages are done in this, wait till you see this, 40 count, Weeks Confederate Grey. Look at the houses. Aren't they absolutely gorgeous? I loved stitching on this. I can't wait to get back to it. It's quite long because you have to have the little bits to gather to turn over at the end after you've tied it with the ribbons, if that makes sense. So it needs quite a lot of fabric to tie and turn under, so it looks like a Christmas cracker, doesn't it? So I've made quite good progress, haven't I? If you look how across I've gone, but look at the colours. And those roofs, the red roofs, are in Weeks Cognac, which is this gorgeous real brick colour. Yeah, well, a glass of cognac, I suppose. I hate cognac. And blue spruce, I've put in a little bit of blue spruce there. So, oh, I can't wait to get back to that. I don't think it's going to take too long to finish that. And yeah, so I'm really pleased that I managed to get one of my Whip Go New Starts worked on a little bit. The other one that was called was Hands Across the Sea, Louisa Coulamore. But what I did was because I started Cozy Eggs 15 Friends, I wanted to start that. And I thought, well, I'll do that instead of Louisa because they're both big red samplers. And then my Whip Go piece, there were two that were called. One of them, I showed you the picture of where I was in this gorgeous project bag by Val at Patchwork Paw Print. Isn't that lovely? I don't know if that's Kathy Holden, it might be. Her fabrics are so much fun to make project bags. This was the Grateful, Thankful, Blessed by Brenda Gervais. Do you remember I wasn't fussed on it? I said it sort of has been languishing for a couple of years. And I think it's because I'd only done the house and I hadn't filled the windows in properly with the white. When I did that, it transformed the whole thing. These are the threads. I mean, gorgeous colours. A load of them, like always. Some real gorgeous harvesty colours. Yeah, look at this, Weeks Peach. I've got this in something else that I've been working on this week. Oh, the flowers here were Weeks Peach. It's such a gorgeous colour. And yeah, carrots bright. But what else? This is a gorgeous colour. Peanut Brittle. Love that by Classic Colourworks. And flax again, that's in the Heart and Hand. Flax. Yeah, similar colours, isn't it, that Brenda uses for autumn. Anyway, that's what the chart looks like. And this is my progress. And now I'm in love with it. Because I put the peach, it's not a peach, it's a pumpkin, in the basket on the top of the roof. And just did little things like filled in all those little carrot coloured rose hips, are they? Little berries that the birds are holding in their mouths. Oh, it's just come together. I filled in the windows, look, with the back stitch and put the basket on the roof. And because of that, it's just started to pop, hasn't it? And it's given it, look at that. I think it's beautiful. So yeah, before I'd done the people and I wasn't that enamoured with it. I don't mind the ghosting of the harvest too much. It's not as bad. I know some people have had real ghosting, but I've just used the call for. My blackbirds are not as black as other people's. I think they would have been better darker, but there we are. I was at a stage where I was just going with all the called for. And I absolutely love that. So who knows, that might be a finish for, you know, October time this year. Yeah, autumn, that's what I'm trying to say. Might be good for an autumn finish this year. So now I'm back in love with that. That's why I love Whip Go so much. The other Whip Go piece that was called was in my gorgeous bag that I won. I won this by now this is made by Pauline from Sobe Bags, and I won it on Home Sweet Home Handmade, Natalie's Flosstube. She had this amazing, she buys a lot of Pauline bags, and she'd sent her one to do as a giveaway, and she always uses, her trademark is to have this beautiful lace across the front here. I just bought another one, I'll show you in a minute. So this was the Geisha Girl bag, which is really pretty, and in here I have my other Welsh girl, Martha Evans. So this was for Brenda's big birthday. And this is Martha Evans, 1879, from Ystrad Mynach, which is not that far up the road from me. And I chose the silks when I was at the attic in 2023. They had a silk pack that Jean had converted from the Aversoir silks into this really amazing, so there were 15 skeins that Jean chose, and they are so bright that I had to double check with other people that I did have the right colours, because if you look at the chart, the colours of the dog and the blues and greys here, and then you look at mine, you're going to be wowed by how bright it is. So I couldn't get the called for because I'd run out of Hemingway. I'd used it on 2 other projects by Needle and Flax, which is the called for. So I used Legacy by Picture This Plus, which I think is a really good match for the front of the chart. And this is my progress. So I've done a second page, more or less, and my colours are so much brighter. So the, instead of grey here, it's literally like a duck-eyed blue. The yellow is bright gold silk. The birds aren't grey, they're lilac. And the dogs are not dark, they're quite a sort of bright brown in a way. Are they dogs or are they lions? I wasn't sure. But it's just so much fun to work on. And the most gorgeous strawberry border here. The red is bright red and the white shines. The silks are stunning, absolutely stunning. So I did show you the silks, didn't I? Yeah, I did. So these are Soie d'Alger, but a conversion from the attic that I just happened to see. And I'm doing this on 40 count, Picture This Plus Legacy, and I think it's so much fun. But look how packed it is. There's a lot of work in each of the pages. So I'm trying to keep the border going along as I work on this. And yeah, I don't know when I'll get back to that now, because that was my one of my whip goes. That was my second whip go call. So that's everything I've worked on. And now I'll talk to you about plans. So one of the plans for whip go for February that I haven't even started was this one. This was called, I think the numbers were 7 and 8. So one of them was this by Plum Street, Grace Doth Abound. This is where I got to. You've seen this relatively recently last year, because it was called much later in the year for my whip go last year. So Toil O'er the Ground. Yeah, Grace Doth Abound, with that fabulous house and the pumpkin. So this is really pretty. This is on 36 count Fox and Rabbit baked clay. I don't have that many projects on 36 count now, so it's really nice and easy, and I love the colour of this baked clay. I prefer it to Up in the Attic, which I find a little bit orange for me. Then my second one called, again in a gorgeous Kathy Holton Christmas Fair project bag I made myself, is Christmas at Cullyberry Farm. So this is another one I need to get some work in for whip go in February. This is where I got to, and again, you haven't seen this that long ago, because I did do a little bit of that border. Can you see how thin this linen is? You can actually see my sleeve through it, can't you? It's because it's the old weeks. This is Tin Roof. I couldn't get the called for, and I'm all right with it. I'm okay with it. It will just obviously need to be put on some sort of batting, a warm and white batting, I think. And then, so you're not seeing through it too much. But I love working on it, and I kind of got the hang of old weeks. It doesn't bother me too much, but it is very, very thin. But this project is just, I mean, look at the berry border. It's stunning, stunning. Love it. Love the greens, love the reds. This is Piney Woods, isn't it? Gentle Arts Piney Woods. I'm desperately trying to get hold of more of that. Not for this project, for something else, but I notice everywhere's sold out. Then more plans. I would love to, sorry for the glare, I would love to work on wordplay for March. I don't have many. I think I've got 5 wordplays or 6, maybe 6. I've done 2, and this is, so I've done January and Feb, and I need to do March. So I've got the linen and that all ready to go. I've got 40 count Picture This Plus vellum, which I love. Such a gorgeous colour. A little bit like Thornfield, isn't it? A little bit like Needle, a bit paler perhaps, but that gorgeous mottling. And that's what I did my other wordplays on, because I think it called for Abecedarian or something that I couldn't get. It did. 35 count Abecedarian, but I'm doing them on 40 count because they're quite big. So, yeah, so that's that. Then in my brand new project bag by Pauline from Sobe Bags, she sent me a lovely little card actually. Which of all my important nothings shall I tell you first? I feel like that's my Flosstube. Shall I tell you first? By Jane Austen. Isn't that sweet? She sent me a little card just to say, thank you for buying a Sobe bag. Enjoy the Flower Fairies fabric, and I hope to see you again. She loves my Flosstube. How sweet and kind to say that. She doesn't need to do that. I've got my Minnie McBean's floss top on there. I can't put my threads on it because in here is a brand new project that I would like to get started. And that is Jessie Challoner. So Jessie is, I'm doing the muted colourway here, which is the one that Jean chose. And this is the linen that was suggested that we kit up with. So this is what I put in my book of days. This is the Mason linen. Is it haberdashery in the light colour? And I've shown you the chart, and I haven't got the silks, but it's the 103s on the spools. Let's see if I can find the silks. It's this huge box which just fits in 27. Look at that. Glorious silks which just fit in these spool boxes. The 103s. Isn't that fab? I've never had this before, so it's a bit of a novelty for me to have one of these boxes. And I can't remember where I bought this now, but it's a little UK company that are on, they've got like a little shop within Amazon as well. The Patchwork something. If you need to know, I can share it with you next time. But look at the glorious colours. And this is the muted range. I mean, the bright ones would be mad, wouldn't they? But I was torn about the bright ones. So that's a new start. And I have got the little panel, you know, to make your own project bag. But at the moment, I just haven't got time to make project bags. So I thought, when I saw Flower Fairies with Pauline, I thought I used to love the Flower Fairy books. So I treat myself. So that's what I chose for that. And that's from Pauline. Then more plans. Not many more. What's this? Oh yes, okay, this is a plan. This is going to be one of my plans, but probably actually I won't be able to start this. This was an exclusive by that group again. I remembered it earlier, didn't I? Homespun Needleworkers on Facebook. It's you can get exclusive charts. And when I knew I was going to the attic, I thought, oh, just have it, because I've always wanted this. My mum went to Guernsey, and I just love the motifs on that and the border. Look at it. Anything with roses like that, just love. And that sheep, the sheep motif here Is it a sheep? It looks like a black and white sheep. Yeah, it is. It's a little lamb, but it's very, very muted. You can just see his face up there. So I'm dying to start that, but I've agreed to wait until Britta, my friend, Britta Jenkinson, that travelled with me, and Mama Loves You, Michelle, and Judith. We all travelled together from Heathrow over to the attic. We said we'd start it together, and she's just ordered it. So it'll be arriving soon, and we're doing it on, I'm doing the country sampler. It's not homespun, is it? It's the country sampler one. They provided the kit for this. It is the group, but country sampler provide the kit. Right, I'm getting muddled. And this is on Hemingway. This is on, I think it's 40 count. And it came beautifully wrapped like this with all the colours. You know how they wrapped it. So that's something I'm going to start. We're going to start together, me and Britta. And so I've got to wait, which is not a bad thing because I've got so much to be working on. So that's one plan, but probably we can't start that until I get back from holidays, which will be around about like the 18th of March. So about the time I'd probably be back for another Flosstube before I'm starting that. One other plan was another new start that got called on my Whipco numbers for new starts was Be Happy, Humble and Kind, which I bought in the attic in 2023. And I sort of was intrigued because it calls for 35 count espresso linen by R&R, which I thought, oh great, I've got that in my stash. I just love the blues and greens in that. Quite different, isn't it? And I love the sentiment. So I pulled my R&R espresso and it couldn't be more different. I mean, look, it's nothing like it whatsoever. So my R&R is 36 count and it's covered in this green mottling, which is great for, you know, if that's what you want, but I think those colours are going to get lost. I think the blues and greens will just get lost. And then I pulled my other espresso, which is by Fibre on a Whim. And this is similar, isn't it, to R&R espresso? They both got greeny. This might be a bit more tan. So I just thought that was fascinating and I'd show you that. So I need to go straight back to my stash and try and find something that's much more creme brulee-ish and more creamy yellow so that the blues and greens pop. So yeah, that's a dilemma. I might not get to have that as a new start. And then some other plans, I thought I'd just quickly show you a couple of charts that I've got in my stash that I would love to get started for Valentine's, probably next year now. Cupid Sampler. This is based on a printer press, you know, what you call those printer blocks that Brenda converted into a little cross stitch chart, and she's just used the hem stitch around the edge for that. It's really cute, isn't it? Another one I thought is lovely for this time of the year, Forever and Ever. My anniversary is the end of March. I'd love to do that, but it's also quite a nice sort of Valentine's start. This one, Heart in Hand, again by Brenda. I've had this in my stash for years, all kitted up. This is on Weeks Dove, which is a gorgeous greeny grey colour, quite dark. Love it. This is a cute little one. Berry Days at Thistledown Farm, with the lovely berry border. And this is a little one along a similar vein, which is Token of Love. I think that would be a really quick stitch. I think this is on 28 count Mushroom Lugana 1/1, which I don't love, but I could do if I've got the box for one of them, so it has to, you have to use the cord for it to fit. This is a really lovely old one. That'd be a nice Valentine's stitch. This is with our needle and thread. Sewing Bird Pinky would take, honestly, you could do that in a day, couldn't you? It's just a couple of motifs on that. And that lovely 5 times Blessed felty strawberry I bought. I could tie on that, couldn't I? Here's another one, Plum Street, Peace, Love and Purpose. I love that. I've had that in my stash for years. Another one, Pinebury Lane. I saw this at the attic. I saw this in Vicky Jeanette's house. Token of Love. What a gorgeous old stitch this is. I won't be doing it on that called for dirty linen. I don't like it. I'm going to be picking something more mottled like that. Another lovely one, Stacey Nash. This is Little Redwork Pin Keep. Again, I've had this for years. I don't know why I've never got to stitch it. And the back is stitched to that as well. I think that's walnut crystalled after. Oh, it's on Beach Brew. I'm not sure. I might have Beach Brew actually. This is a lovely sort of spring stitch that I thought was, I'd really like to get done. And now I've done this, I'm all about making little needle books. So I'm really keen to have a go on that. And I know that Katie Strachan's got a great finishing tutorial for this one, which I haven't watched. So it might be a bit of a different way to finish than Brenda. So I'd love to have a go on that. Again, I've got that kitted up. I can't see what it's called for, but it looks like Weeks Beige or Cocoa. Another one coming up this time of year, Oh Lucky Day. I do have a bit of Irish blood in me. My brother refuses to accept it because Ireland are too good at rugby against Wales at the moment. But yeah, I think I've got 4% Irish in me. This is such a cute little thing. I thought I might do that one day. And then this is one that I wanted to pick your brains on. This is something I picked up years ago, 2023, when I went to the attic. I picked it up because I didn't read it properly. And it's the finishing kit for Erica Michael's Little Flock, which I just thought was the cutest sentiment. But of course, it hasn't got the chart with it. And I've searched high and low for this cute little board. And I've realised that it's stitched on 40 count silk gauze, which remember I did my honeybee on. It's really difficult to stitch on, but it's doable. And everything to finish this is in this kit. So the Hessian ribbon, the felt to cut it on. But I don't have the gauze because I don't have the chart. And I just wondered if anybody knows where I can buy this Erica Michael chart. I've looked everywhere. So it's called Little Flock. Do let me know, please. 123 Stitch don't have it, and I can't track that down in the UK. And Create Nostalgia normally stock all of hers, but they don't have it. So I think it might be quite an old chart. Does it say 2017? Not that old. Well, 8 years old. Anyway, it was just a thought. If you know where I can buy that chart, please do let me know. So that was some plans. Then I'm going to show you my embroidery. Okay, oh gosh, I've been so busy. I've been so busy on this. So firstly, the new embroidery for 2025 arrived, and it came in this fabulous packaging. Isn't it lovely? And it says Name Herbarian Volume 1, Habitat, The Stitchery England, date January to December 2025, identifiers, beautiful stitcheries from England, fragile. That's so nicky, isn't it? So clever. So that's the gorgeous packaging it comes in. And then this was month 1, specimen 1 is the Snowdrop. So it came with the chart and these lovely colours, 2 whites, 3 greens, and all DMC, and wonderful instructions, and wrapped up like that. So I got cracking on that, and here we are. Now, Nikki grunged her linen up after that photograph was taken, and she talks about it because you always get a video tutorial on the Stitchery portal, you know, to where she shows you how to do the stitches, and it's lovely. You can hear her chatting along. She dyed hers with coffee and a paintbrush after the stitching was done, but recommended that you do it before because sometimes the coffee could bleed into the stitches. So what I used was walnut shells. Let me show you these. Walnut crystals, sorry. You dilute it down with water, and you dilute it down a lot more than it says. I think it says 1 in 4. I dilute it a lot more than that. I do like 1/4 teaspoon in 350 mils, I think it was, on the jug. And then what I've done is I batched that up now so I can use the same strength to dye up all my linens. And then at the end, I used quite a concentrated dilution and sprayed it on over. So I painted it on first, let it dry, then I sprayed it with bits of dark after. Then I did the stitching, and then right at the end, you put this label that she provides you with. I bond-to-web that on, and then used the apothecary pin to make it look like I hadn't bond-to-webbed it on, if you know what I mean. So these are the pins from Merchant and Mills. They're really long. They are enamelled. They're black enamelled with a little tiny gold pin head. You may remember I used it last year on my floral ones to put on my typed notes. So this is triple stitched satin stitch, not for the faint-hearted. So you do it one way, then like vertically, then horizontally, and then finally you do your vertical. And so it's seriously textured and padded. And then we just did double satin stitch. So there's a lot. It took days. It did take days, but I find it really relaxing and mindful. And one lovely thing, I just thought, oh, tell me about the snowdrop. So I got distracted then. I got my 3 lovely books. Let me quickly show you. I won't take too long. I'll put pictures of these in at the end in case any of you either have these books, because these are old classics. This is The Language of Flowers. I've had this for years. Nikki influenced me to get this. I think I found it on eBay or Abe Books. And so you can look up what the meaning of each of these books is. So snowdrop means hope. Isn't that lovely for this time of the year? And at the beginning, inside the cover, there's the little story. To Mother, wishing you many happy returns of the day from Father. August the 8th, 1913. That's how people used to write to each other, isn't it? There is a language little known. Lovers claim it as their own. Its symbols smile upon the land, wrought by nature's wondrous hand. And in their silent beauty speak of life and joy to those who seek. For love divine and sunny hours is the language of the flowers. Isn't that lovely? So the language of the flowers. So the language of the snowdrop is hope. And I think that's so true, because when you see them pushing up through the ground at this miserable, like quite potentially depressing time of year, they just do fill you with hope that spring's around the corner. So that's one little book that just brings you great joy. And I thought I'll check it every month. I don't know what's coming, what flowers are coming in the herbarium, but this is another little book, Wildflowers of Britain, Month by Month, by Margaret Erskine Wilson. And the only entry for January is this little picture that she does, and it's got the snowdrop here, and I don't know if you can make out snowdrop printed. So she used to draw these, and so there aren't many things that you'll find in January, but you will find the snowdrops. I thought that was cute, showed you that. And then the other book, which is fabulous, is The Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady. And they're a really fabulous month by month. Again, I bought this second hand. When I was a kid, I used to work in Marks and Spencer's on a Saturday and a Thursday night. And M&S had a range of things called The Diary of an Edwardian Lady. They did toiletries, they did all the stationery, notelets, gorgeous diaries and notepads, address books, and I so regret not keeping any of it. I had to buy this secondhand, so this is from someone on eBay from 1981. And it was a naturalist's diary for the year 1906. Edith Holden recorded in words and paintings all the flora and fauna. Day by day, she used to write a little tiny entry. And so this, and look at the gorgeous way it's presented, the script and everything. So for January, it starts with these beautiful paintings. But if I show you, I managed to get one of the snowdrop here. It's actually under the 1st of February in her diary, because they don't really push through until really late on in the month. So there was a little painting of the February, and this is what it says. 1 month is past, another is begun, since merry bells rang out the dying year, and buds of rarest green began to peer, as if impatient for a warmer sun. And though the distant hills are bleak and dun, the virgin snowdrop, like a lambent fire, pierces the cold earth with its green streaked spire, and in dark woods the wandering little one may find a primrose. That's a poem by Hartley Coleridge, written in 1842, The Fair Maids of February. So that's what we've got for the snowdrop for the month of January. Well, for a bit of February. Isn't it lovely? And then one other thing I I signed up for, because I did the subscription for the year for the embroidery for Herbarium, because I just love it so much, is I signed up to Nikki's sister. Remember, Sarah is the Stitchery Sisters, has a monthly cross stitch, and I signed up for the year. I didn't buy the kit. I'm going to use my own fabric. I used the leftovers from Cozy Eggs 15 Friends, a trim off the bottom. I cut, I think, the first 6 pieces off the row at the bottom. So this is 46 count needle and flax Thornfield. And I had the week's threads that Sarah has in the chart already in my stash. I can't show you the chart because it's a PDF that you get emailed to you if you sign up. So this is all the names that the snowdrop is called. So it's Galanthus nivalis, isn't it? And what was so sweet is that it's also got the name Little Sisters of the Snow. So that's really cute, because her Sarah and Nikki are the Stitchery Sisters. And yeah, the white doesn't show up brilliantly on my fabric, but it's there, it's ghosty. So what will happen is when we make our books up at the end of the year, we'll fold this over a little bit of card, and it'll slot into either the left-hand side of the page. You can either bond or web it on, or make a pocket and stick the card on. We're going to get creative, not yet, at the end of the year. So that was my herbarium homework for the month. Then I did do a little bit on, do you remember I bought the winter stitch along for the new year with all the DMC threads and this little needlebook that I haven't even started yet, all beautifully presented with a hoop and the needles. I did manage to do, so I've done 4 weeks out of the 6 that Nikki's posted on the winter stitch along site. So week 1 was the trees, which is took a huge amount of work, I'm not going to lie. And then week 2 was the seed heads, which is so much fun to do. So there's a little bit of satin stitch there, but mainly split stitch. And then 3 strands of the thick white snow to just lie on the top. And then week 4 was the snowmen bodies, which is split stitch with a whipped waistline. And week 4 was the scarf and the hats. So we've got turkey stitch. You see, turkey stitch for the bobble, for the pom-pom. And the scarf is just whip split stitch underneath, and then you satin stitch over the top, and just do some tiny little back stitches for straight stitches for the twiggy arms, a few French knots for the eyes and the nose because he's looking down on the side and she's looking sideways as well, and turkey stitch bobble there with the 2 pinks, and you just whip the front to give it the texture of the bobble hat. So it's so cute. So the 2 weeks that I'm behind, Week 5 was a massive week. That's the quilts on these. You can do patchwork quilts, or you can do what the heck you like. If you want to do bear paw, you could, or triangles. I thought I might do one patchwork, and the socks on the line, and then the snowdrops. So there are 4 snowdrops there, which was week 6. So I'm horribly behind, but actually I really enjoyed it. And I did the bobble hats last night watching Flosstube. Aren't they lovely? Yeah, so that's the winter stitch along. And it is still really wintry and cold here. So it's been kind of fun. So that's my embroidery. Then I'm going to show you my, so just let me show you quickly my embroidery. I've got my really cool stitcher from 5 Times Blessed in my lovely Barry little bag. So that houses my cut linen for the Stitchery sister projects as they come in on my 46 canvases ready to go. And these are the gorgeous colours that she picked. Lovely. So that's that. So I'm more organised for my embroidery. Now I'm going to show you my quilting. Just quickly, not much to show here. First of all, I've got My Summer House by Bunny Hill Designs that I bought the kit. They very kindly gave me 10% off when I said I would mention the sewing studio. So they had the Bunny Hill kits, and they've got lots of kits. And actually, I bought my charm pack to make the Laurie Holt cookbook, to make the needle beds, thread beds to take to the attic for my table gifts. So this was this month's. So this is what it looks like. The bird is just absolutely darling. It wasn't too bad. This is block 7. So I've done all the hands applique, done a little French knot for his eye. It's a bit of fluff. Oh. There we go. Done the French knot for his eye. Isn't he lovely? He turns out so darling. And then you draw on over a light box, you know, you trace Garden Club. So I just copied that. I didn't personalise that. I just copied what it had on the chart. And the little tulips, really pretty, and just a lovely block. I love that one. So that was block 7. So it's coming along. So I think there are 12 blocks or something, maybe 11, and then the big border. And then the Fat Quarter Shop are doing a stitch along for Laurie Holt's Vintage Christmas and the Vintage Christmas quilt along. I've got the book. I didn't bring it in this time, but you know the one I mean, don't you? I've shown it a few times. So I've shown you block 1, which was the stable block. I should have brought it in because I can't remember the name of all the blocks. And I showed you block 2, which was the Candy Cane, which is, I mean, serious amount of stitching in that. They're tiny, tiny little blocks. Some of the squares are, for this month, 3/4 inch blocks, squares, you know, pieces. This is the Candy Swirl block. Really pretty. And this was the hardest of them all. This was the candles block. So this is all the little bits of holly that it's sitting in, and the flames. There are 3/4 inch squares cut to make the squares around the flames on the candle. It's not perfect. It's not dead straight. My some of these go wider than the others, but I'm really pleased with how it turns out on the flames, because I can't tell you how small those pieces are. It's such a lot of fun. I love tiny piecing on the machine. I just love it. But that takes a day. That does take a day, that block. Not this one, you know, but because you cut as you go, a piece like that genuinely will take me a day walking back and forth. I make myself have the ironing board in another room, so I'm walking back and forth. So that's my quilting. Now, what's next? Next, I'm going to talk to you about, knitting. Now, I don't normally show knitting. How am I doing? 123. Right. Last night, I washed and blocked my shawl. It's called the Tiny Tassels shawl, and you'll notice that I haven't got the tassels on yet. So I've done the tiny shawl, but I haven't done the tiny tassel shawl. It's not perfect. I found it really, really hard to do the stitches in the middle, the increasing, decreasing, now that's not a hole that's going to run, it's just a way that I didn't quite do yarn forward in the proper way. So there's one or two of those, but do you know what? It's secure and it's not going to make any difference. The biggest ones, twice I did that was at the beginning, obviously when I was still getting the hang of it. So I just must have done yarn forwards incorrectly, and then I did it again. When you have 3 months off it and go on a long car journey, always when I'm starting out, and then I get the hang of it. So I really enjoyed it. It's not perfect, but no one's going to notice that. And the actual stitching is perfect. I mean, I can do knit purl, I can do perfect all day, yeah? But I can't do the, whatever that is. I'd never done it before, where you have to do that funny shaping thing in the bit. So this is what it's like. It's going to look great with a denim jacket, I think. And this is the wool. It came in a kit. Let me go back. I bought this in a kit from a shop in London called Loop. It's a beautiful knitting shop. And this was a kit. And right now on the website, because I'd forgotten where I bought it, I found it last night on the website. Because you have to go on to teach yourself how to make the tiny tassels out of this beautiful cognac. That's the colour, isn't it? The colour of the day today is cognac. I hate cognac. I love the colour. Now I need to take 2 5mm needles and watch the tutorial on Loop's website on how to make the tiny tassels. Honestly, I think it's going to challenge me. And then it's going to go in my denim jacket. It's going to be so cool. And it's going to have tiny tassels all along 2 sides, but not on the V-neck back, if that makes sense. Look at it. Isn't it cute? So I love the ginger colour in the blue. I've forgotten everything about this colourway, but if you go on the website, you'll see this is a colourway, obviously, because it's quite different. And now they've got another gorgeous bunch of colours on there. There's one which is more of a blue with a pinky ginger fleck and edged in a different colour. But I do love this. I think this will work really well with jeans. So I'm going to watch this space. Next time when I come back, I'm going to have the tassels made. I'm going to have to just, you know, man up and learn a new tutorial. And I couldn't be more pleased. This is so soft. It's called cashmerino wool. So it's really, really soft and cuddly. And yeah, it's not cashmere, but it feels like cashmere. So that was that from my finished knit, the tiny tassel shawl kit. Then I started another one a couple of nights ago in front of the TV because I quite like knitting. I started the other shawl in June and I do it on car journey. So when I went to France for a week, I was doing it every day. And now I feel like I've got myself started and I think I can do the pattern with less mistakes on this one. It seems a bit easier. I bought this wool, which is really soft. It's got bamboo in it, up at the Malvern Quilt Show. Remember when I went with Kirsty, I bought 2 different colour wools. So this I bought at Brian's Best Wools. It's designed by the wool shop in Leeds. That's the pattern, and the wool is Pechura, which is this. This is the wool. Louisa Harding Pechura wool with bamboo. It's really soft and cuddly, and I chose to do a triangle one with a picket edge. So that's how it's going to be. So it's shaping not in the middle, it's just going to be like an off-centre triangle, so less chance for big holes in the middle. You're just going to get this pickety hole edge in all along one side. Lovely colour, isn't it? Love that wool. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and I needed to try something to get it started so that I've got a car project, because I can't sew or knit in the car. Sorry, I can't cross stitch in the car, I can only knit. So that's for a car journey. Like when I'm going up to Heathrow in a couple of weeks, maybe I can do that. So that's my knitting. Then I'm going to talk to you about haul. I've been really good because after the attic, I did have to have a word with myself, and I've got so many things in my stash, you know, that I could honestly never buy a thing. I've got a lot in my stash. So I was pretty good, but I am in a couple of clubs. So let me start with that. First things first, I have joined the Stitchery Acufactum Club, where you get 4 fat quarters every month of Acufactum fabric. Now in the US and Canada, you can join this club through Willow Cottage Quilt Company. I think that's what it's called. And now Nikki's taught out there, and is it Audrey, the lady? And she's collaborated with them so that she can stock for the rest of the world, Europe, UK, Australia, New Zealand, the Acufactum fabrics for the rest of the world. So they kind of collaborate together. So Nikki ships to the rest of the world. These are the 2 that I've got left. Aren't they gorgeous? Look at that, seed pods and shells. So you get 3 patterns, 3 pattern fabrics of Acufactum, and 1, what do they call it? Like a mixer, I think they call it. So it's like a contrast neutral for trims or linings. And the other 2 I used straight away because I have had this on my to-do list for 5 years. How to make Vonna Pfeiffer's project roll using her tutorial. I have watched that tutorial about 10 times. I still had to play it again to teach myself how to do it. But really, this took me a day. Vonna says it took her an hour and a half. It took me a day, but isn't it fabulous? So this used my favourite of the fabrics, which had these geese. Oh, look at the geese. And again, it picks out the shells and some of the seeds. And it just goes with all my embroidery for the stitch along. So you just, I picked a fabulous one of my seam binding ribbons. That's what they're called. Seam binding, cheap as chips. This is the, just like a charcoal grey one from Crafty Ribbons. I think on Etsy or on, they might have their own website. And a gorgeous China button with a sewing theme. This one is, some cotton twist with a number in the middle. Some of them are DMC, some of them are Silco. And I buy this from a little shop. If you need to know, let me know. I've forgotten now, but just a regular quilt shop. I just get those. And so I keep all my finished projects in here. Instead of an under the bed box, getting all squashed under things, I'm keeping them now in a project roll. And I've been meaning to do this for such a long time. So I'm so excited about this. I did Vonna's way. I quilted it. Look at the contrast lining isn't it gorgeous? So there's a if you join this monthly subscription, you know, I don't get anything, you know, I pay for this all myself. I'm not selling it. But one of the joys is you get access to a pattern, at least one pattern every month, or a homework project on the Willow Cottage Quilt Club site. And the lady there teaches you how to make something, her and her colleagues, and they're really talented ladies. And the actual project that you were supposed to do with these fabulous fat quarters was to cover a journal book, which is something else that's been on my to-do list for 5 years, but I'm a bit cautious of doing. So I thought, well, I won't do that this month, but I really would love to have a go at covering the one of the paper journals that you can just buy, you know, like a cardboard blank book, and put a lovely cover on it. So there is a tutorial on there, free. You can follow her step by step. But for me, I wanted to follow Vonna and do this, and I could not be more thrilled. And inside you've got a mailing tube. That was the only thing. I had to pick just odds and sods to cover my cardboard ends, because I didn't want to break into, sorry guys, it's the doorbell again. It goes all day, honestly. It kills me. I didn't want to break into these because I thought I might cover a journal or something. So isn't it gorgeous fabric though? And the reason I had to sign up for this, because I wasn't going to do it, is because Laurie, a textilist, who you know has fabulous floss tubes and is a really good quilter, had signed up for the subscription and said to me, Sean, I can't believe you're in the stitchery and they've got it there and you didn't sign up. So I felt so bad. I thought, well, I'm going to have to sign up now because Laurie told me. So that is one of the things I made with my lovely club. So it's good if you make things with the fabric as it arrives, like project bags or covered journals, because you feel like you're not just sitting on your stash, you know, you are actually using it, which makes me feel good. The other club I joined for 2025 is the Wiggly Dye Studio. So West Green Loft Yarn, she used to dye wool and now she's doing threads and linen, and a lot of people are in this club, and I thought I'll give it a go because I still can't get to the front of the queue with Fox and Rabbit, so I can't get my Fox and Rabbit club subscription, but I can get this. I did have a few pieces from the past. Let me show you. I had a dark grey one which I had once for a Christmas advent box I bought, which had Christina from Whilst Iris Naps, one of her Christmas drums in, and this was the linen provided for that. It's like a really dark grey with a hint of brown. It's beautiful. And this was the other project, again a Christmas stitch. I can't remember. I've got the chart and the kit so I can show you again another time, but isn't that stunning, that colour, like a sort of Christmas aqua colour. And then in January, I had this one. This is a neutral. It hasn't got a name. It's just the January 25 colour. It's a little bit like Sleeping Bear or Thornfield from Needle and Flax. And just the most beautiful neutral, quite biscuity colour. And then this was February's, which I thought was stunning. A cloudy blue-grey, which I didn't have anything quite that colour, so it is unique and I will use it. And I did pull out a chart that I thought I might like to stitch on that colour. It's it's more lighter and blue in reality than it's showing on the camera, quite dark, but it is a very gloomy day here. I've always been looking for this linen, I can't get it. Virginia Beach Brew, which is like a blue. Oh, I talk too much now, guys. I'm starting to mess it up. Right, so that was my second club. Couple of things I bought. I did treat myself to the Chowgu. I've waited and waited to do this because they're not cheap, but a project that I kitted up with yarn, I'll show you next time, I didn't have the needles for. And I bought so many individual, circular needles from Knit Pro, just at John Lewis or Amazon, wherever. I thought it's time I did invest in the set. So I've only got the small twist set, but I think that should cover me for most things like socks, scarves, and some jumpers as well. So I did treat myself to that, but that was my birthday money and I got that from Tangled Yarn. Tangled Yarn. Lovely girls, really helpful if you're stuck and you don't know what you're talking about, which is me when it comes to knitting. Two other things. I got a couple of project bags. This came today. This bag I saw on Instagram and I just had to have it because I just thought the fabric was stunning. I've never seen it before. Very precious and really, really different. It's kind of got lace and binding, rickrack in the print. And I just love that. Anything with blessed, I love. It's a top one, so you could use it for knitting really easily. It's filled with Valentine heart lining. And this came with coffee and a little biscuit coffee bag. And this is from a lovely lady, Oh So Alison. I think she normally does bags for knitting, but you could use them. That fits an A4 chart. How sweet. And she said, wonderful to hear that you've reached 10,000 subscribers. I hope this bag brings you lots of joy in your beautiful stitching, Alison. How kind. So do go and have a look at her bags and give her some love. another, I showed you my Pauline Sobe bag, which is brand new. And then my quarterly, my last club I'm in, which came with this amazing card. It looks like the ivy, doesn't it? When you go into the ladies' toilet in the ivy, it's got those flowers on it. You can have an amazing photograph at the sink or on their velvet stools in the ladies' loo. And gorgeous. These are project cards from Barry at Stitch Folk. And look at this. I'm in the quarterly club and this is the project bag. It just arrived 5 minutes before this video started going. Look at that. Just stunning. So it's the same lady with her very large hoop. And the lining is absolutely stunning. Barry at Stitch Folk. If you can get in this quarterly club, quarterly project bag, it's not a club like last year with loads of bits. It's just the bag this year. And they're just fabulous. And I haven't got the time to make them. So I really look forward to that. It comes in its protector and of course it comes with this. And the best thing of all is it doesn't go through customs. It just comes through the post and gets popped through the door. How fab is that? So that's my last thing. And then the only other thing was, of course, it was my birthday. And my dad gave me birthday money. And so this is how I spent it. I told you I didn't need another pair, and I really didn't. But there was a lucky bag, that's what they called it, and there were 7 parts to it. Now, I already had the calendar, so I didn't need the calendar, and I wouldn't use the kit that they sent for a little floral, like a spring flower. It's on an old Ada. You know, I can't really see me making that. However, this is what was in it. A gorgeous little needle minder. That's what it looks, actually, there's the cross stitch. That's what the cross stitch looks like. And there's the needle minder. Just cute. So now I've shown you, I can't wait to open this. Here's the needle threader. So pretty. And here's the, I don't actually know what this is. I think it's for keeping orts. Sorry, I opened that without showing you. I get carried away. So this is the lovely little leather Kohana. That's the colour of the leather product in here. And this is all based on the Japanese plum and the spring, what do you call it, the blossom. The blossom of the Japanese plum is one of the first of the year. So it heralds the start of spring. And look at that colour. This is a leather little bag that you can put your orts in, or I'm not sure what they're for. I'll have to Google what they're for. But I've got 2 others in like a gold and a cream. But this, look at this, citrus yellow. So based on this blossom of the Japanese plum, it's called Ume. U-M-E, the Japanese blossom. And that is the inspiration for the flower behind the glasses that are this stunning orange. And the thing is, I said, oh, you can't have everything, but it was for my birthday. And I also thought, do you know what? I use these every day. Look at the fringe on that, the bright orange. The lacquer on them is just gorgeous, and the orange leather pouch to keep them in. So they are gorgeous. They come beautifully packaged in boxes that hold 103 silk spools if you want to. So that's my naughty purchases, but not too bad. No charts. I'll be waiting for market. I think I said I'm allowed 1 or 2 things. Oh, Teresa Kogat's rabbit basket. Got to get that, the bunny basket. I'm going to have to get that because it's just the cutest thing I've ever seen. And of course, I think Brenda Gervais might have a couple of new charts coming. Apart from that now, I've only got to share with you my previous finishes that I've got out and about in the house and to do the giveaway. So I did pull a name before this for I was doing the giveaway of this exclusive chart, A Merry Gentleman by Plum Street. which was in the Advent box from Kitten Stitcher. So there were only a couple hundred of these, and it'll be released for next Christmas. And this is what it says, Matthew 2:2. Where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east and are come to worship him. Playing his clarinet. Brilliant. And the winner of that was Deborah Duquette, 2075. So Deborah, if you email me, please, at periwinklestitcher.gmail.com, periwinklestitcher@gmail.com, and I will post that straight out to you. And I thought this time, to celebrate 10,000 subscribers, I would offer to make one of the little beaded needle books that I made for Brenda and Laura. I went on the little workshop that Nikki Franklin's got. Anyone can take it. Anyone can sign up and take that course, and I thoroughly recommend it. It was amazing. I didn't get my beads out to show you. It started me down this whole rabbit hole. I put pictures in at the end. This is my bead collection, and all different types, seed beads, 11, 0, 8, 0, all different sizes, bugle beads, sequined, silver lined, gold lined, plain ones, seeds, all different. And so I'm building my stash. So what I could do is I could either do, they're silk noir on the outside. It feels like a slubby linen. I'll put some photos in at the end so you can see how they're made. And you could either, I'll draw a name. If you use the word beaded, B-E-A-D-E-D, beaded, and I can make you a beaded needle case, and you could either choose, the winner could choose either the golds and this sort of colourway, the sort of coppery colours, you know those, or you could choose the aquas, something like these sorts of colours. So it'd be up to you, but they'd be on the walnut crystal, or is it coffee dyed silk noir. It just feels like a rough linen little needle book. They're really tiny. They're the size of a credit card, just enough to hold a pack of Bowie needles in. So I thought I'd offer to make one of those. It'll take me a while, but it's probably the best thing I can do for a giveaway, I thought, for 10,000 subscribers, to thank you all so much for your loyalty and keeping coming back and all your support and lovely comments. So now I'll just share with you what I've got in the house as finishes for Valentine's. So I think I posted this already. Oh look, that's pretty cool, isn't it? The backs, beautiful gingham backs on these. And these are Love Notes by Brenda Gervais on 40 count R&R Mayflower Mocha with all the called for and some finishing very much like Brenda did, and the called for keys that Sue at Peakside managed to get for us. The minute this book arrived in the UK, I bought it and I stitched them up until they were all done, one after the other, and I finished them straight away. And that spring, I took them out the garden and took an amazing picture of them outside. Be mine. Yeah, all the back stitching and the little flowers again. Isn't that just so cute? So I did some white rickrack on some of them, and I think I did that on 3, and then 2 of them have just got the little keys and a ribbon instead. Isn't it? They're so sweet. I mean, just that on its own is adorable, isn't it? And I've got some little felt balls in here. This is probably my favourite. Love You a Latte. Look at her wings. Oh, she's so sassy. I love her. And the little flowers with the back stitch. Love You a Latte. This is a lovely one. The postage stamp. Love, with her bow and arrow. And her wings and her cheeks. And That's it. That's all 5 love notes. And I think I've done them all. So there were only 5 in that chart. And what else have I got? I've got, this is one I always have up for Valentine's because it's kind of backed with the same gingham. This is just a advent calendar one from the Stitchery that she gave you the charts to follow, and you just did backstitch. So it's sort of embroidered letters with a little bunch of French knots going up and down, and then these 2 mini Suffolk puffs. And it all came in the kit with this old slubby linen. So there's no count to this, you were just given it. And I've always loved it. It stays there all the time, but particularly at Valentine's, it just goes with everything. And it's got the same back on, so that's one of my favourites. This is one of the very oldest ones I've ever done. This is a kit from Shepherd's Bush. It's just on a plain, I fancy it's 32 count, light Swigart linen with all the little buttons and backstitch. Every heart beats true with the sheep. Yeah, look at the little buttons. Oh, I just love Shepherd's Bush. I think they're timeless classics. It sits in my china cupboard in a large gin glass, that one. But I'll bring it out now because it's Valentine's. I just love it. Look at the house. Yeah, that's it came as a kit from Shepherd's Bush in lockdown or just before, and the backing fabric came from them, the ribbon, the beads to couch the ribbon down. It's a finish that only Shepherd's Bush do, isn't it? Tacking the ribbon on with little beads. So pretty. Every Heart Beats True by Shepherd's Bush. This is one I shared with you last time because it was the finish I did last year. This is Valentine Holiday Hoopla by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. And this is the little embroidery hoops that you can buy from Stitch Kit Crafts. She covers them in Liberty, sorry, I just moved the camera. Liberty or Tilda prints. There's about 5 different reds. I can't remember if that's Tilda or Liberty. And you could buy the back to go on as well to hide your, your lace in. And just put a ribbon over the little tie. And I just think they're the cutest things. I need to get more. I need to do more of these because I just think they're gorgeous. Look at the back stitch on her dress. It says love. And again, she's a bit like the Love Notes, isn't she? She's the same girl. Her hair, she's had a bouncy blow dry and the others didn't. But she's very similar. Gorgeous colours in that. Sometimes the smalls bring you such joy. This one, I knew there was one. This one, again, with my fabulous gingham backing. This is Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread Wordplay. This is the February one, which I absolutely love. Look at the colours. So pretty. And I've got this exactly finished, as Brenda says, with the bells. I did the January one the same, so they hang in the hall. And I've got a lovely, beautiful, look at that, velvet ribbon in a teal. Oh yeah, from the same place. I think it's Crafty Ribbons UK. Cheapest chips. Honestly, I thoroughly recommend them. And that's where I get that seam ribbon as well, which you scrunch under the tap, by the way. When it came really shiny and smooth, like here. But if you just scrunch it under the tap, put it on a tissue on the radiator, 5 minutes later, it's all crinkled up. So it looks like Stacey Nash type ribbon then to cover your pillows with. Oh, I didn't show you the backing fabric. When I finished this one, Jingle All the Way, I used that fabulous, well, I don't know, it wasn't a jelly roll. It might have been a bunny roll or something, someone told me it was, but it was the beautiful fabric that Moira, my lovely friend that sent me that gift Christmas parcel from up north. I think she lived in Northumberland, and she's at one of my lovely viewers that sent me this for Christmas. So Moira, I used it, and I thought it went beautifully with the cream and red on the front of the green there. So yeah, that's how to use the seam ribbon. And actually my very last finish, I've used more of the seam ribbon. These are Valentine trifles by Shepherd's Bush. Be My Valentine. So unusually, I'm pretty sure this all came as a kit. Unusually, this is all purple finish because I'm pretty sure this fabric came with it. But I couldn't swear to it. I could have just bought the chart and been brave. I don't know. But where would I have got the linens from? Because there are 3 different types of linens. That is 32 smoky white. This is 32 white chocolate. And this cutie pie is, I've forgotten, lavender something. It's, let me see. Oh no, I can't look it up. It's a type of smoky lavender or something like that. And what I did was I used beads in the finish from my, now, I think it's that amethyst, that colour. And I used 3 tiny amethysts to do Katie Strachan's little triple bead finish, which is a phase I was going through where I would do the triple bead. I just think it's so quick and easy and really fun. And just a little whip stitch at the bottom. And this is so cute. I didn't do a great job making the shape on this on the corner because I was lazy and I used my brother machine instead of my hand singer, and it doesn't go around corners, like not fine corners like this. So I tried my best to wedge that little lump down with a trio of beads on the corner, but it's still cute, isn't it? I'm Vonna, yeah, my stuffing's gone a bit, because I made this years ago, but look at it, isn't it lovely? And it's a bit different to be purple. So there they are, and they sit in my bowl, and I just love them. Shepherd's Bush Valentine trifles. Yeah. So I got Christmas trifles. I think I got winter trifles. I got a few trifles. Have I made many of them? No. But I have done this, and they're one of my favourite finishes. So there we are. That, guys, is it. I'm so sorry. I seem to go on for way too long, but I did have a lot to show you. Now, I'm going away for 2 weeks, and I'll only have 2 weeks stitching next time. So it'll be a really short, quick, on point one for March. I promise I won't take as long. Anyway, I hope you're all well. I hope you're all loving what you're stitching and making the most of these winter months to like hunker down and get it all done before the sun comes and we're all out the garden. And I hope you're all well. And hello to you all in the US and Canada and all over the world, Australia, New Zealand, all my friends from overseas, because you send me such lovely, kind comments. And take care, everyone. And until I see you next time, happy stitching.